lovely people, how are you today? I am here today to recommend you even more movies for your viewing pleasure. Once again, I'm not going to tell you to watch movies that you know you've probably heard of because, you know, what's the fun in that? So here's another list of 5 movies which you may have heard of but you mightn't have heard of that are very good that you know you should watch now. If you can recall, in my last movie recommendations video, I recommended to you an Adam Sandler film, but you know, not a usual Adam Sandler film that is, you know, awful and quite painful to watch. It was Punch Drunk Love, and because of that film, I forgive him for making all those atrocious films. I've got another film like that now, but with a different comedian that It's Stranger Than Fiction, starring Will Ferrell. I'm gonna be frank, I hated Anchorman. I don't get why it's so funny. I don't get how it's one of the most quotable films ever made, kind of things. It's not my type of film at all. But Stranger Than Fiction is amazing. It's just so good. The basic plot of Stranger Than Fiction is Will Ferrell wakes up one day, hears a voice in his head, he finds out he's a character in a novel being written by Emma Thompson. How could you not love it? And Dustin Hoffman's in it as well. I feel like that it should be a running trend that I recommend you to watch a Stanley Kubrick film. Because last time I recommended you to watch the greatest science fiction film of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now I'm going to recommend that you watch the greatest war film of all time, Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket is about the Vietnam War. It's distinctly a film in 2 halves. The training part and the war part. If you can watch that opening sequence with Lee Emery as the army person, just completely insulting and just effing and blinding at the trainee soldiers. I mean, it's one of the, it's one of the greatest opening scenes to a film ever made. And Anchorman being one of the greatest fucking quotable things ever. Full Metal Jacket, the opening scene is the most quotable scene ever produced on film, honestly. Now, I'm quite a big fan of the Coen brothers. I mean, Fargo is amazing. I mean, you can't watch Fargo and just be like, that's boring. No, it's not. It's brilliant. It's amazing. One of their least mainstream films, one that they really made for themselves quite recently, is A Serious Man. Now, if you're looking for a coherent plot, don't watch this film. I'm quite a fan of films without a coherent plot. Once again, I love the work of Samuel Beckett. It's about this Jewish man, and his wife is going to leave him for Cy Abelman. That name will haunt you forever. And his son is getting his bar mitzvah, and it's an odd film, beautifully shot, the cinematography is great, but yeah, I can't really describe the plot because there's not much there. We're not really heavy on plot, it's more character based, which is good, which is very good in fact. I love character based films. I don't think I've mentioned before that my 3 favourite directors of all time: Kubrick, Hitchcock, Allen. And I'm going to recommend you the best Woody Allen film, Annie Hall. If you haven't seen Annie Hall, you don't know what comedy is. It's my favourite film. Annie Hall is my favourite film. Doctor Strangelove is the greatest film ever made, but Annie Hall is my favourite. There's a certain je ne sais quoi about the film. Yeah, it's just so good. It's a comedy, but it's like a constantly hilarious, constantly funny. I can't describe films very well except for going, watch it. It's Annie Hall. My favourite actor of all time is Charlie Chaplin. Many say his best film is City Lights. I think City Lights is a bit too slushy. It's not a word. My favourite of his is Modern Times, and I'm going to recommend you to watch Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times, because it is a masterpiece. It's his last film as the tramp character, and the final scene with the na 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 na, and he's just walking off to the sunset with Paulette Goddard at his side, and it's so beautiful, and I can't. It's just such a good film, and you have to watch it because it's Charlie Chaplin, and if you don't like Charlie Chaplin, then I don't like you. And it's just a masterpiece of 1930s cinema, and everything about it. It's one of my favourite films of all time, to be honest. Love Modern Times. And on that slushy note, they're my movie recommendations for you this month, probably. So yes, hopefully you'll watch those films, and let me see what you think. You can follow me on Twitter at Bazpierce. You can leave a comment in the comment section, and yeah, I hope you enjoy my movie recommendations. And until next time, lovely people, stop clapping and goodbye.